Right now by Brayden Charney, 6'6", 285 pounds from Florida, and has committed to the class of 2026 at Syracuse. Brayden, first and foremost, congratulations on the decision. Why Syracuse? Let's start there.
Man, just the feeling I got the minute I stepped on campus, meeting the coaches, meeting the players, just feeling that energy of just the want to work. Like all the players, had a great work ethic. Coach Brown, I walked into their indoor field and watched the team condition, just the way Coach Brown, motivates his players, and it was special, man.
Take us through the visit. Good. For those who have never been on an official visit at a Power 4 school, what's it like? What kinds of things did you do? Who'd you meet? Kind of walk us through the visit and what sold you on Syracuse.
Yeah. So we stayed at the hotel, like about 15 minutes away from the campus. I got to meet Coach Williams again. He came to my house before the visit. That was great getting to know him. But the hospitality was great. The first day we had a lot of meetings, getting to know Coach Nixon, just getting to know the strength coach. Second day, it was a lot more exploring. So we got to walk around the campus. We did a scavenger hunt, so that was pretty fun. And then my favorite part was just seeing the dome. That was great, man. That was a special moment. For sure. Yeah,
tell us about that. Tell us about this. I wanted to ask you about the facilities and the Lally complex, but let's start with the dome and seeing it up close and personal. What stood out to you about it?
Man, it was surreal, man. It was a beautiful place. I know it's a pretty old stadium. Am I right? That's what Coach Williams told me.
Yeah, 1980. Yeah. Yep.
We saw the locker rooms in there. Just walking in there, just seeing the stands. I know they upgraded the seats pretty recently, so it was pretty cool. Me and my sister, we walked in the middle of the field. I just sat there, looked around, and just I couldn't believe it, man.
Yeah, it's a pretty special place when the place is full and fans screaming and the place is jumping, and we saw that a little bit last year with Fran Brown. The Lally Athletic Complex, you talk about upgrades to the seats in the dome. They've upgraded the facilities here quite a bit over the course of the last several years. What did you think about the Lally Athletic Complex and where the football offices are and the weight room? And, I guess, how did that compare to some of the other places you visited?
Yeah, the facilities were great, man. I got to see the dorms. Everything's, very accessible. The dorms are it's a 5-minute walk away from the facilities. You have the weight room, and then to the right you have the indoor field. You have the soccer fields, but yeah, the facility was great, man. They had a pretty nice kind of movie theater in there. It was pretty cool seeing that. I got to see the training room, the cold plunges, the hot tubs, the meeting room. I got to sit in Coach Brown's office. We got to sit in Coach Williams' office. It was great, man. The facility's very nice.
What are your impressions of Fran Brown? We keep hearing, we knew when he was hired here that he had this title as being the nation's top recruiter, and he came here and we were all wondering, would he be able to do it here? He's been able to continue to get talent here as a head coach. What is it about Coach Fran that makes him such a charismatic recruiter?
Yeah, he's just very competitive. The minute you see him in person and you get to look him in his eyes, you can just tell, he's very true with what he says. He's very straight up with you. He's a powerful man. Yeah, that's pretty much it. He's a special dude. You can just tell he's a good coach. I know he was from Georgia. He's a DB's coach, I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, I mean, all these coaches come from experience. That was one of the biggest things for me. Coach Brown has experience, especially Coach Williams. That was probably one of the biggest things in my recruiting, and that was a big choice for my recruitment.
When it comes to recruiting, not only do you need to want the school, but the school needs to want you. So in talking with Coach Fran and in talking to Coach Williams, what is it about you that they wanted? What is it about you that they liked? And how do you kind of fit into their plans moving forward?
Yeah. One of my biggest strengths on the field is my athleticism, the way I can move, the way I bend. Coach Brown really he couldn't believe my size until he saw me in person, because just the way I move, like you look at a guy my height, my size, and you don't think they can move as smooth and quick and fast as I do. So yeah, they're very excited to have me on the team. When I come, I'm going to graduate early, so I'll be there in January. But yeah, they're very excited. They preached that about. They just watching my film, just going over it. That was probably the biggest strength along with my size.
How much did you pay attention to SU last year? I mean, how much did you follow them, when Fran Brown took over? How much do you know about the program and about the history?
Yeah, so I know last season you guys, Kyle McCord, that was a great pickup you guys did. You guys had a great season. Coach Brown has, flipped the program around pretty quickly. So that means a lot to me.
Being a Florida kid, I do have to ask you about the weather. You visited when it was pretty nice up here. Are you ready for are you ready for snow? Are you ready for cold? Are you ready for wind?
Man, it's definitely going to be a bump in the road, just to get over with. But facing challenges is not an issue for me. At least the one good thing is that we play inside, so. I'll definitely have to get used to it. I got family that lives in Ohio, so I've been around the snow a little bit, but, I'm going to miss the Florida heat, but, it's okay.
Well, you'll be glad to know there's a thing called the Golden Snowball that they give an award up here for, which major city has the most snow. And it was presented yesterday to Syracuse and the Syracuse mayor, Ben Walsh. So you'll be glad to know that Syracuse won the Golden Snowball. So get ready for a lot of snow coming up next year. Brayden, anything else about your visit or about this program that excites you and that you want, you want fans to know about as you get ready to come here in about a year?
Yeah, just the work ethic that I saw from the players, it just matches my energy. I'm a very hard worker. I've only played football for about 3 years, so my development has been huge. That's why I say coaches with experience that can help me with my development. That's huge for me, man. So just the way the players talk, the way I got to meet Joe Cruz over the weekend, and just the things he said, just how hard the guys work, every day waking up, you got to go out, especially when it's cold, you just got to go out, fight through the pain, fight through the hard work, and, it all comes out, it all comes through, man. So just, I'm excited for sure.
Well, Brayden, listen, it's been a pleasure catching up with you here. Congratulations again on the decision, and we look forward to seeing you in January in time for spring practice.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can't wait, man.
All right. Brayden Charney, our guest here.